Right, let me unmute myself, and we are back. Joining us now, we have droqen. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Did I say it right, or how do you say it?
I think it's droqen. Sometimes it's people say droqen, and I kind of grew to get used to that. But to me, it's still droqen. So you're saying it right.
Okay, excellent. Well, yeah, we actually do know each other in real life, and we've had a conversation about our Game Jam games already. But I figured there's a couple extra questions that I didn't necessarily get to ask you during the course of that conversation. So, and we'll also record it for the benefit of the stream. So, yeah, if you'd like to go ahead, introduce yourself, and I will try my best to play your game.
droqen. What'd you say?
And I'm just going to try my best to play your game in the meantime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm droqen. I made a game called Starseed Pilgrim, and that was a long time ago. And I don't know, I make games. That's a bad introduction, but I don't really know what else to say.
Oh, I think there are, it's always hardest to talk about yourself, right? So yeah. Why don't you tell me a little bit about not just me, but I guess for all those listening as well, how it was that you settled upon making this game that everyone can see me playing here.
So I started out with a completely different game. I feel like out of control is actually a theme that is kind of close to a lot of things that I want to do with games in general. So I first had to sift through a bunch of ideas that I already had in the past. And so the first thing I started making was like what was it? I remember I just wanted something to do with like a virus. So the idea is like, I don't know, I guess I'm really fascinated by the idea of a game that has systems that are out of the player's control and like almost don't even matter to the player. Like it just makes it feel like more of a living place if there's all this stuff going on that isn't just there to serve you. And so it's like you don't control it, which to me, like that captures out of control. But on top of that, it also like if your controls are constantly being taken away, if you don't have control over something, it's really frustrating to have to it's really frustrating to lose control when you need it. So it's kind of weird. Like it almost feels like something that doesn't belong. Anyway, so I made this game about a virus, and then it kind of wasn't working out. And I started working on another game, which was, so my partner makes these stuffed octopi, and we've been trying to kind of like, I helped to make them, and there's a bunch of them, and then we've been trying to kind of sell them, and just kind of like this octopus idea. We just watched a little documentary. I think it was a documentary. I don't know. Maybe it was like a very short video or something about octopi. And she was telling me about how they can escape from their tanks. And they're very intelligent. And she was like, make a game about an octopus. And I had no idea how to do it because an octopus is so complicated. But I just started, I was like, fine, like because this virus game is not working out, I'm just going to go and try to make something to do with an octopus. And I kind of like slapped something together. I didn't try to model the tentacles as separate objects because I was really just like, here's just an idea. I just kind of need to get it out and see if it works at all. And I made all the tentacles of the octopus just one sprite. Like it's just like the sprite is scribbles. Sorry, I'm not watching this stream, so I don't actually know what's on your screen. But
no, yeah, you can see it.
You can see the tentacles of the octopus. It's literally like I opened GIMP. It's like an 8x8 sprite. I just scribbled a bunch until I was like, yeah, that looks tentacle-y. I did it twice, so there's 2 frames to the tentacles. So they kind of like look. There's like an illusion of motion. That's pretty much how it started. It was just like you're an octopus in the water, and there's like you can surface out of the water because kind of the initial kernel of the idea was you being an octopus who's kind of, I think, out of control in that you can't be contained in an aquarium, but obviously the game isn't really about being out of control yourself in an aquarium or anything like that. So it was a very long, rambling answer.
No, that's cool. I mean, that even touches upon some stuff that we didn't get to in our conversation. So I do have to restart the game because too many coins lost forever. I'm sure the viewers will see there were a couple moments there where a coin was just like knocked out of my hands, and I do not have a button that controls where the octopus grabs. That was an intentional choice on your part, right?
Yeah, it because the octopus is kind of it had, and again, this kind of comes back to the video that we were watching before. The octopus's nervous system is kind of spread out throughout its body. It's not like humans; it's all in the brain. But and there's I've heard people say like maybe an octopus doesn't have conscious control of its limbs in the same way that we do. It just kind of says like, hey, arms, like do your thing, or tentacles, or maybe arms. Who knows? And the theme being out of control, and also I'm a fan of not adding buttons as unnecessary. I did consider adding a button that would allow you to release. So rather than holding the button to grab things, you would hold it to be in a state where you're not grabbing things. But I found it was pretty good like this, and so I just kind of left it. And just kind of the way that I'd made the physics, it felt pretty nice to just kind of have to force yourself to drop stuff by doing there's a bunch of ways you can drag things over the surface, or you can kind of do a quick flick down and up to drop something.
I just tried that and it worked surprisingly well. Oh, I'm just noticing the art, the little kelp that's just placed randomly, yeah.
So it's kind of weird. Initially, the kelp was placed intentionally, but as the water rises, all of the other kelp is placed randomly.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, the way it turned out.
Well, that describes a lot of these kind of experimental games. So, what I know you said that you mentioned you had a couple of false starts, but when it came to actually working on this game, what was your development process like?
Let's see. So the first thing that I did for this game is I made the octopus. I made the tiles, and I really did not have anything that I would call game design. By the time I had everything functioning, I had the octopus controls. I think I even had the music. I had the trash machines dumping stuff, and I had no game. There was not an ending. There wasn't any goal really. I had the coins, but not the robot. And at some point, the coins didn't do anything. You collected them, and they went ding, and they were pretty. And then I took control away, or I made it so you couldn't directly collect the coins. But instead you could grab them. Oh God, you're in a bad spot with the trash.
Well, you would think that. Apparently, I just clicked through it.
Hey, yeah. So I guess the process was I got the controls working and kind of the vibe of the game, and then I looked at it long and hard, and I was like, oh, and through the process I did design puzzly areas, I'd set up a situation and I would start the game in the situation, and I would just say, hey, here's a thing that is dumping trash. Is it possible for me to get past it? Is it interesting for me to try and get past it? On the previous screen, there's kind of that coin in the vertical shaft, and I just kind of made this silly little toy where you can drop a coin down into there to try and knock that coin out. I think the way it's set up, it almost always both coins get stuck and you get nothing. Just the way the physics turns out. But I built a bunch of small toys for you to play around with, and then at some point I was like, I've got a quarter of the map filled out. I just had a 4x4 grid. That was my plan. And I was like, I need to add some, something to do, somewhere to go. So at that point, I started to kind of play with the idea. Well, I filled out the screen thinking about the structure, and I was like, I'm going to need to have some endings. And I added the exits kind of during the latter part of development. And the robot kind of came at the same time as the exits. I spent a while programming the logic for the robot.
Which I would love to show off for people, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Oh, I wish I still had the cheat codes in. Oh, okay, hold on. If you go to
Wait,
the top
okay,
left.
hang on. I knocked a coin out.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Oh,
can I retrieve that? Can I retrieve that?
good luck.
Oh, I think that's gone forever.
Oh, that's rough. Go to the top left corner of the map. It's
Okay.
probably the best way to go.
Cool.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Let's see. This is just a impenetrable wall of trash here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be winnable this time around.
Top left corner, I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know how to get there.
Let's see. Just go straight left, and then you can go straight.
Oh, top. You did keep saying top left. You know, my brain kept saying like right, and there's one. I don't know. Can you get this one?
No, you have to bring the robot to it, but keep going up. Sorry, jerk move. I know.
No.
I'm not sure what is happening on your end because I'm a few seconds behind. Oh, I see.
Okay, I think I'm about to. No. Okay. Anyway, is there any particular hack or shortcut that you used in this particular game jam that you wouldn't use on a longer production game?
I feel like the one hack that I've never really done before is I went to like Free Music Archive and found a song that I think added a lot to the vibe of the game and really relied on it without talking to the musician or anything like that. That was like a really novel experience for me. I've never done that before. I feel like if this was like a regular project, I would probably I would be like, I can't use this music. I'm gonna ask them for permission and wait for them to get back to me. Whereas for this jam, doing this in this way, it was just like a lot faster. I just used it because I was like, well, I don't have any time to ask this person, and I mean, it's already on a Free Music website. So I checked I forget what it's called, the credit attribution rules that they used. And I was just like, all right, I hope I'm doing this right. And then I went for it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a very ungrateful robot.
It is. The robot's having a tough time getting to the robot might totally just not be able to get anywhere. Oh wow, yeah, I saw you get ganked by the.
Did you have to cut or change anything in order to finish the game on time?
Yeah, I actually have a document. Let's see. So I was going to. Well, first of all, I was going to have some kind of acknowledgement when you like leave there's 3 exits, and I kind of wanted each one to do something and not just boot you to title. But that I was like, there's no time. I'm just gonna make sure everything else feels good because it's kind of more important to me anyways. You can kind of clog the trash chutes, and I wanted there to be an acknowledgement of kind of the number of trash chutes that were clogged, because I felt like that would kind of like lend more of an idea of like the trash clogs being something that someone outside of the game cares about. Kind of like a digital display that says like, we've dumped this much trash, and it's like, okay, oh no, they're all clogged, like problem, like we're not meeting quota or whatever. That's about it. I guess both of the things feel like more of a suggestion that I would have loved to get more playtesting into. I didn't really get any. I know that you offered to, but I was too deep into it. It's hard for me to kind of like get myself out of that zone and into a like I'm going to show people zone, especially with like the deadline looming.
Yeah, I mean, even having made that offer to test each other's games out, I realized pretty quick that like I'm not going to have something playable until like an hour before the jam, and that turned out to be the case. But also, B, I don't have the time to take away from my development to test something else out. Robot's gone.
Yeah, I feel that. Huh. Did the robot go out exit C?
Maybe he did make his way up there. Let's find out. So if he's made it, no, he hasn't made it up here. Robot is somewhere.
It's stuck somewhere in robot hell.
That's an interesting way. I just managed to.
I'm watching to catch what happens.
Yeah, I just managed to get a piece of trash like stuck to the side of a wall. That guy, this one right here, just physics kicked in on it.
Oh, wow, that's so weird. Oh, I see. You just freed it, but yeah, that is very weird. I haven't noticed anyone getting exit B. You could probably get it, especially with the robot so stuck. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, it looks like he's going to make his way. Oh my god. So what's the function on coming back to life? Because it seems like it happens faster sometimes than others.
It basically waits for you to be not on the same screen as the robot. And there's a really, really, really long timer that's like, hey, if you're on the same screen as the robot, you still are. I'm just going to give it to you. I mean, specifically, I think it's like 100 frames if you are of being not on the same screen, or 999 frames of whatever, of being dead.
Okay.
So going to exit C. I think you're going to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like he's on the same screen as you, so it's not letting you revive.
Yeah. There we go. So I'm guessing he shoots those blocks and then he shoots me, and then he makes his way out.
That's right.
Leave me alone. I appreciate that he can't shoot you from off screen.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually ignores you completely when you're on a different screen.
I guess this is my trash. Oh, there it comes.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Made it through. I would recommend everyone try it with the music because the ambience that you get from that adds a lot to the experience. And even the fact that the music changes subtly when you are out of the water is a cool addition.
Oh, yeah. I really love that. I mean, I used Godot engine for this, and it makes the audio buses really easy, and like adding audio effects is just so I don't know, so like at the front of the front end, like there's just a tab which is audio. It shows you all the buses and the mixers. You could add effects, and it's super easy. And I've just never really internalized how it works in, I mean, Unity, because it's a similar engine, but really in anything, except for like a DAW, like a proper audio program, like they will have like a thing that says, here's all the sounds that are playing. But I've never seen any. I've never personally used any engine that really visualizes the audio in a way that made it super accessible to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So this thing I've never tried before. I'm going to try and clog one of these.
So when it's red, it means it's detected, like there's a thing in front of it.
Oh, there we go.
So you kind of have to. Nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes they hold longer for other times, and I don't really know why. Sometimes you can just do it permanently, and other times they just fall on their own. Something that's a hack that I would use for a regular project, because I'm kind of in love with it these days, is using just like kind of shitty physics and just rolling with it, and like trying to make it not feel like, I don't know. I've always disliked physics games, but I'm starting to develop, I don't know if it's like a taste for physics games or like a particular way of working with them that works for me. But I don't know, there's something really delightful about the chaos of physics. Especially like it doesn't, I don't know. I feel like the way that I'm using it doesn't feel like floaty. in multiple ways. Like it doesn't feel float numbery because of how like small and chunky the tiles and objects are.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is like N uses physics, and it has a similarly, and I don't want to compare the niceness of how this game feels to the way N feels, but it has a similarly like solid feeling. It's not like everything is just kind of like this like mush. You can do it. You can also back up and kind of ram it, and that can work sometimes.
You know what? I think I'm in an ideal spot where nope, never mind. No. We're good. Cool. That's exactly what I was trying to do.
Cool. Yeah. That coin is set up in a particularly mean spot because if you go down to grab it and then immediately go back up, you'll drop it right away. So you have to go down and kind of pause and stay there and then go up. Otherwise, it drops into that horrible chasm and like don't go down there.
Yep. Yeah, it occurs to me that in trying to get certain coins, there are just parts of the game that I've never seen because I've always taken certain paths to try to get whatever few coins I feel like are most accessible to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so...
I designed kind of the bottom two rooms, like the bottom left room and the one to its right. Those are the first two ones that I designed. Well, really the bottom quarter. So that room over to the right, if you go over there, is like I designed that, and then I quickly realized how impossible it was, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just leave it. This will just be like a fun like nightmare room just to kind of get the idea across that there's a coin down there.
Yeah.
To get the idea across that some coins they're just going to be easier to get than others, and you initially actually needed 10 coins, which I'm really glad I changed that to 5 because no one would have ever seen the robot's AI if you needed to get 10 coins.
Yes, I think I'm certainly thankful because I feel like by the time I'm getting that 5th coin and I'm just being unoriginal and basically going through the exact same ones, but I can't even get it yet.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Is there a limit?
Kind of liked that. Is there a limit to what?
How long I can stay out of the water?
No, there's no limit. Oh, you could probably go out the right exit if you've never done that.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. You have to wait a little bit. It's boring. Yeah. I like I approached the level design with the water at like the bottom-most areas are actually some of the like worst, most awful places. So it was kind of like if you're taking a very long time, the water rises and makes more of the world, easily traversable, and you get better access to the easier to get coins. It's kind of like a soft difficulty thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will absolutely open things up to chat if anyone has any questions that they want to ask. But in the meantime, do you have any plans for this game going forward, or is this just kind of a finished experience?
So it says it's an oubliette. It's I've been making a bunch of games that I kind of apply this label to because they're all these kind of weird little twisty, dungeony exploration thing where the whole world is kind of just getting in your way. And I feel like, they're kind of, I could send you a link. Let's see. Because I don't think, here, I'll send you a link to the collection if you want. And I feel like I'm much more likely to just take the lessons I've learned and move forward with them and make another game and like doing something slightly different. As much as I mean to go back to old projects, I so never do. Like even with Starseed Pilgrim, which is a project that I should port because it's successful and people know the name, I find it very difficult to revisit the same idea or even like develop on top of an existing thing. Like, I don't know, just once it's done, I can't come back to it.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I mean, for my part, I've released some Game Jam games that are like permanently stuck at version 0.9 just because, yeah, I can't really bring myself to go back and start trying to polish up these experiences that weren't all that didn't garner all that much attention in the first place. Like, I would say that this year's Game Jam project, it's probably the most feedback I've ever gotten for not just a Game Jam, but for like a game that I've released to the public in general, which has been a really weird experience, but
Wow.
very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess it feels like the first time in a long time that I've received this much feedback. I had, obviously, with Starseed Pilgrim, like tons and tons of feedback, more than I could ever know what to do with. But Tig Source, like I used to frequent the Tig Source forums, and I felt like it was easier to find people to talk to about my games, about their games, about like kind of interesting games in general. I just found there was like kind of like a stronger sense of a shared creative community, and it's been really cool. Doing this jam, I have been exposed, and I'm sure that there are people who are talking about games and who want to talk about games. I definitely am not saying that they don't exist or anything like that. But it's been really cool getting a bunch of feedback on this game, and also playing a bunch of games and giving feedback on them and seeing what people are doing that's like interesting and new. There's a couple of games that I really liked out of this jam.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think this whole reason I wanted to set up this stream today was because of our original conversation on Monday.
Monday.
I think it was
Monday. I feel like,
yeah. Just because I realized like there were just some questions and answers we had for each other that I felt like would be helpful. And as a result of that conversation, I wrote a devlog that's available about how I wrote the dialogue for my game. And then I figured, well, there's probably other developers out there who have similar stories to that, who have similar solutions that they found, or, they're doing what they can with what the time that they have. And yeah, it just seemed like we would get some interesting feedback on that. So I guess, thank you for being the original inspiration for this whole madness that was 8 hours of live streaming.
Jeez. So I didn't catch any of it because I've been just cleaning up everything in my house. It's been very fun, and I feel like my house is getting better. It's great. But how did the rest of the stream go? Like, you talked to a ton of people. Do you think that you got what you wanted, like, or what you expected, I guess, out of this whole
thing? Think so. I think our numbers took a real hit once Mark started doing his live stream. But we had, I think, like, for the interview with the developer behind Pink River, which was this sort of Game Jam's darling, got like, I think we were around like 35 viewers at one point. So that felt pretty cool considering this is my like second ever live stream, but it's also been an incredible amount of time and effort in. So I don't know if I'll be doing it again anytime soon.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it's interesting. I always want, whenever I like do something that's really that I like a lot, but that also is, how do I put this? There's a lot of things that I really like, but that take a lot of time. And then I'm like, well, I would love to do this more, but I have all these other things that I spend my time doing, or that I want to spend my time doing, or that I need to spend my time doing. And sometimes it's like, well, like, I guess I just have to choose one of them and forget about the other one, even if it was like a really good time. But I hope that you do figure that out for yourself and figure out if, like, I don't know, I guess if this is something that like is like an interesting long-term thing for you, or if it was just like a thing that you do once and then you're done with. I don't know. That makes sense. I rambled a bit.
No, that's fine. I think for now it's going to end up be. I'm stuck. Oh wait,
Oh, okay.
wait. Well, now that's jammed. Well,
you can probably get it out. You might need to wait for the water to come up so you can pull it out.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess it remains to be seen just where I end up going with my submission from this particular jam. Also, once I post these videos onto YouTube, how much the reception those end up getting, because as you say, there's a finite amount of time that you have in a given day, and you've just got to decide where you want to put your priority and your time. So, yeah, I guess.
Do you want to put all your time towards trying to pull some trash out of a crate and tank? Oh, there's a question.
Oh, cool. Looks like Ika-chan, was that intentional? Oh, the robot sprite. Yes, a couple of people have noticed that the robot sprite looks similar to the artwork from Cave Story.
100%. We actually did talk about this. Your game also has a stylistic inspiration from Cave Story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I've kind of experimented with reproducing I don't know. Like I mean, I do pixel art. You can see I've done pixel art for this game. And one of the things that I often have trouble with is representing characters. So in the past, I've looked to Cave Story for inspiration, along with other things in games. But just, to see how do I make a character in pixel art that is kind of like appealing and nice. In this case, it just kind of it reminded me of the underwater parts of Cave Story, and I had the idea that you would be using the coins to kind of like save a character. It just kind of came together, like quote picks up those little triangles, the Doritos, and so I was like, this character who's going to be unappreciative and just shoot you in the face when you revive them, and I was like, I'm just going to make this character look and feel exactly like quote from Cave Story, because I didn't want to. I don't know, I guess it seemed faster and more likely to have a good result than trying to design a character myself. And yeah, also like I went and I copied the Cave Story sprite, but in my style. Like I opened the sprite for the main character of Cave Story from the original game, and I was like, I'll just kind of try to reproduce this using the color palette for the game and kind of like a bit scaled down in the style of the game. Also, it was not intentional that it looked like Ika-chan. I haven't played that much Ika-chan. That's all I can say on that matter.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask them, because otherwise I feel like we'll be wrapping things up for the day. And I guess, yeah, same thing, Alex, if droqen, if there's anything that you wanted to mention, any accounts of yours that you want to plug, people can find you at droqen on Twitter.
Yeah, that's me. I'm droqen on Twitter. I have got a website. It has links to my stuff, and you can probably find it through. You can probably find it through my Twitter. Really, if you just Google droqen, I'm findable. It's DROQEN. It's pretty easy to misspell.
But it's there in the highly pixelated font on the game stream, and
there was a game I played, and the person had a Twitter handle with a. It was like it was a programming game. The developer was like, their name was like Taylor without any vowels, but there were like 2 L's. But the font lowercase L and the digit 1 were a pixel apart.
Oh boy!
And so it was like L1R or 1LR. But at first I didn't even notice because it was so subtle. So hopefully my name is a little bit more parsable.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pixelated font that you have there. It's reasonably parsable, at least to me. But again, that's because I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining me and rounding out this crazy day of streaming. And thanks to everyone for joining me in the chat. If anyone was here all day, that's, insane. But as I've mentioned before, I will be putting up these in pieces on YouTube. I remember to record most of them, and the rest I just have to pull off of Twitch and then cut apart into pieces. So hopefully that's a thing I can still do. I'm very new to using Twitch as a platform. But yeah, so droqen, thank you so much for joining me. And
Thanks for inviting me.